things now that they have to adapt to.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
So they now have to be taken out of the jungle and brought into the zoo jungle.
Yeah.
And it is the same way with you and I.
Yeah.
When we come out of the world jungle, we now are into a spiritual jungle, and we have to learn how to adapt in the atmosphere that we are in.
Yes.
And that's hard for us to do. That is very hard for us to do. We cannot do that. But it has to start with the mindset. And I said we're going to explore how do we obtain unforgiveness. We obtain unforgiveness, and I was talking about the children. We obtain unforgiveness by what we learn as children. The experiences that we have, what we see mama and daddy doing. Unforgiveness is a learned behavior. That's why you don't know you're carrying it.
Come on.
A lot of times we don't know how we act. We don't even realize. Until somebody brings it to your attention and you get mad. You get mad.
Better tell it.
So we learn how to act from our parents. And again, parents, we do the best that we can with our children. But a lot of times we're not taught proper coping skills. We're not taught conflict resolution. We don't know how to interact with people properly. And we bring all this into the spiritual jungle. All of this into the church. And then we say we love God, but how can we love a God that we haven't seen and hate our brother that we have seen?
That's right.
How is that possible? Does God need to wrap himself back up in flesh and come and stand and walk with you every day for you to know that he is real? Do you not feel him? Do you not know what you have on the inside of you? If you would take a moment just to empty yourself out. Touch your neighbor and say, you need to be emptied out. Then you can hear what the Spirit is saying. We too clogged up with stuff. And so back to my point about as children, we observe these things, how our parents did things. You know we don't even like people because grandmama didn't like them. But we don't even know why we don't like them. We just know grandma said stay away from them.
Grandma said, Jesus.
Why? Why? We take on other people's burden. We take on their anger. We take on their frustrations. We take on their hatred. And we come in church.
Help us, Holy Ghost.
And we bring all that stuff into church. And we try to coexist. And everybody is just everywhere. I see it in the spirit, just everything, just everywhere. Just everywhere. And so we have to get cleaned out. We have to begin to let some of this stuff go. So as children, as we take it on the burdens of our families, our parents, the people around us who are shaping us, we begin to form an opinion of the world. So now we think everybody like that. Since cousin so-and-so was like that and grandma said they were like that, we think all men act that way. And women don't want nothing but our man. And they jealous of us all the time. And they want what we have. We begin to put everybody in a box. And your thinking becomes so small, so compact. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you today. Our thinking becomes so small and so compact that God can't do anything with us. But we in church. And so we have this preconceived notion of everybody and everything. So then when we do come in church, that's why if somebody corrects you or somebody says something to you, you quick to jump hot. Because you bring in years of stuff in here with you. Years. But see, I don't know that about you. I don't know your past. I don't know your history. And like the woman of God was saying this morning, we all on different levels. So if I'm up here and the Bible says, the great commission in Matthew says that we ought to love one another. That is the great commission. That's Jesus' ministry, is that we love one another. But we can't do that if we don't know each other. And know where we've been, and know what we've been through, and how to relate. All these are skills that need to be taught. And if you didn't get them as a child, they need to be taught in the house of God. Because we need to learn how to act. That's why you can't get promoted on your job. And you've been there 30 years. Because of your attitude. Sometimes you ain't even what you say, it's how you act, how you look. You know that God is such an awesome God that He created this thing in us, and within us is called the flight or fight response. Oh, I'm going to teach you today. It's called the flight or fight response. And do you know that you don't have to say a word when you're angry or upset or discontented with anything? People can see it in your eyes. And because we are created to respond to each other, it's just simply how you look at me that I'm just... It's an unspoken response that we have with one another. So you don't have to say anything. The mere fact that I can look at you and tell that something ain't right, something is wrong. And we come to church with that. Jesus. And but see, we ain't bad people. But we ain't bad people. It's just that we learned all this stuff. And we have taken on all of this stuff. And owned it. And we got so comfortable with it, we refuse to change. In fact, we have gotten so comfortable with it, we don't even know it exists in us. We always think we're right. We never willing to sit down with each other and find out what your side of the story is. We don't ever want to ask nobody no questions. We always want to sign up with our friends, and we want to assume things, and we want to make up stories, and we want to just, and it's just crazy. Communication is another skill that has to be taught. You're not born knowing how to communicate. It has to be taught. And the Bible says, Paul says here in verse 11, lest Satan should take advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. His devices. The Bible tells us, the scripture says he comes to kill, steal, and to destroy. We know his devices. But yet we employ them. We know what he's all about. He wants to shut your mouth up. He don't want you to communicate. The Bible says if you have an ought with your brother or your sister, you go to them. But do we? We don't. We don't. We do the exact opposite. We stand in disobedience of what the Word of God is telling us. And we do the exact opposite. And we go back to our cliques and we go back to our groups of friends and we discuss it there. And since I'm on groups of friends and cliques, God gave me a revelation about that too. He said, you know, when you look at a group or a clique, there are two roles that are being played. One role is the leader. And the other role is a follower. It doesn't matter how many people are in your group or in your clique or your group of friends or however you want to call it. There's always two roles. One is the leader and one is the follower. And I said, well Lord, what you trying to tell me? And he said, the leader of the group naturally falls in this position because there is something in their life that they didn't get. Something in their life that they didn't get when they were growing up. So now they have to get all the attention. And remember now, I'm not trying to say anybody is bad. I just want to let you know what we're working with. I just want to enlighten us so that God is enlightening us so we can change it. Come on, y'all. The Bible says we perish for lack of knowledge. And knowledge is simply information. So we sit down here in church every Sunday, Sunday after Sunday, and we perishing because we don't have the proper information to make our lives better. Information. Tell your neighbor, you need information. It's not the dollar that stands in the way of a rich man and a poor man. It is information. Because if you give me the proper information, I can get the dollar. Just tell me how. And so the leader, the attention, they didn't get attention. They didn't get something that they needed. They had a need when they were a child that was not met. A need that wasn't met. A need that nobody saw, nobody recognized, nobody attended to. Nobody listened to you. Your opinion, you were made to think that what you thought was stupid. You were made to think that what you thought was crazy. You were made to think that what you thought didn't even matter, because if you live in my house, you're going to do what I say. And that's not always necessarily true or right. Because God can speak through anybody. Children or grown-ups. And so the leader now brings this is how they have formed themselves in life. They were probably the leaders in their little groups in school. They were probably ringleaders on their jobs. And they come in church and they gather their little group of friends, and now they're the ringleader in that too. Simply because of something they want, they lack it. They lack it. And so and then he says, and then you have the follower. And the follower is the person who don't feel that they're worthy or good enough. So they find people to latch on to validate them. Am I helping anybody? And so in the follower, what they were missing in their childhood was, nobody told me that I could stand up and be bold. Nobody told me that I could say what I was really thinking. Nobody told me that you can do it.